بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome everyone, and hope that you have a nice day. I'll start in Arabic and complete in English. حياكم الله جميعا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. حياكم الله مع المحاضرة الأولى من محاضرات أوكتيريوم المتخصصة في الأسبوع العالمي للكوتشنج. الأوكتيريوم هي المركز السعودي المعتمد من الاتحاد الدولي للكوتشنج ومن الجمعية البريطانية للكوتشنج. معكم عبد الله اليحيى مدير المركز ومؤسس المركز. نهتم بتطوير الممارسة للكوتشنج وتطوير الممارسين للكوتشنج واحتضان الكوتشز على مستوى العالم العربي بإذن الله سبحانه وتعالى. اليوم معانا الرائعة المميزة تندي. تندي هي بمستوى MCC في الاتحاد الدولي للكوتشنج، Executive Coach، كوتش تنفيذي، وهي مشرفة على البحث اللي شاركنا معاها فيه. احنا وياها سوينا بحث بإشراف 3 جامعات وإشراف عام من هارفارد يونيفرسيتي، جامعة هارفارد. واليوم حتكلمنا شوية عن ما يتعلق بالبحث الخاص فيها، وهو متخصص في كفاءة من كفاءات الكوتشنج اللي هي كفاءة الحضور. وسمت المحاضرة الرقص في خلال اللحظة أو الرقص يعني في الوقت الحاضر، Dancing in the moment. أنا أتمنى أنه تستمتعون معها وتستفيدون منها بإذن الله عز وجل، وأسيبكم معها. Welcome everyone to first webinar celebrating International Coach Week, ICW. This lecture is one of series of lectures organized by Octarium for coaching. Octarium is the first coaching center in Saudi Arabia, accredited by ICF and other international organizations. We aim to contribute to raising awareness and creating positive change in society. Today, we are honored to have with us MCC Executive Coach Tünde Erdös. I hope I said your name right. Who has been working closely with Octarium in an important research sponsored by Harvard University. The title of today's lecture is Dancing in the Moment, the Role of the Unspoken in Coaching, which will highlight the unspoken interactions between the coach and coachee. Thank you, Tünde, for being with us today. And once again, welcome everyone. Enjoy. And the mic is all yours, Tünde.
Okay, thank you, Abdullah, for introducing me so well. And I feel so honored. And I must tell you quite honestly, it's my deep pleasure to be with you, with everyone today. Especially also because, as Abdullah was mentioning, this research project is, we are so nicely dancing with each other in this research project that it is for me a deep pleasure to be giving back and to contribute to coaching in Saudi Arabia and contribute to learning and creating awareness about what coaching can be and maybe also should be. So, my name is Tünde, and please feel free to call me Tünde. I am a full-time executive coach. I am based in Austria, and I received my training in the UK, United Kingdom, with Ashridge Business School, and then I moved on with my learning. And as you will see, like in my title, is very richly decorated name I'm having there. It's I don't want to show that I am very special. I just want to actually signal that I like inclusion. I like various approaches of coaching. I'm very curious about what is out there in terms of learning and how I can improve as a coach for my clients, in service of my clients. So that's why you will see so many accolades out there, like the MCC accreditation and also the EMCC accreditation, the European Mentoring and Coaching Council accreditation, as well as the Master of Science in Executive Coaching. So this is all about showcasing my genuine and deep interest in learning and development in service of clients. So you can see that coaching matters to me a lot. And it's something that I do as a full-time professional activity. Yeah, so today we are going to speak about one very special aspect of coaching, and this is what I like calling simply the unspoken. So it's not what we speak, but how we are as coaches in coaching when we work with our clients, and what impact it has on clients attaining goals. Because coaching is about goal attainment, helping or facilitating our clients getting from point A to point B. So, and in that, it is distinguishing itself from psychotherapy or counseling, because our focus is on creating awareness about how to reach goals and increase performance levels, be it in organizations or privately. So, actually, this webinar is supposed to be an interactive webinar. So in the first place, I will show you a bit the agenda, and which will start, I've already started like talking a little bit about my philosophical background, because I believe that this is important for everyone to see why I am doing what I'm doing and why we are doing the research project that we are doing with Octarium as well. Then we start exploring dancing in the moment. Then I would like to do an exercise with you, inviting you into an experiential intervention. And then we'll talk about elements of dancing and dancing in the moment, especially. And then I will just briefly outline to you how we are measuring this dance in the moment in the research project. As you can see down there at the bottom left, I am affiliated with 3 institutes. One is the VU, the Free University in Amsterdam, where I'm registered as a PhD candidate. The second is Ashridge Business School. This is actually where I have been trained originally, and we are closely collaborating in the research project as well. And the third institute is Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio, in the United States. Because the research design is quite complex, it combines 2 special hypotheses. And for the second hypothesis, I've got my supervisor from Case Western Reserve University, while the first supervisor is coming from Ashridge. So this is just for you to know like where I am, the framework, like where I'm standing. All right, so, and by the way, guys, so if there is any questions, please jot it down into the chat box, and voila, from time to time, I will check in to see like what questions are popping up. I will be very happy to stop and to dance with you in the moment and explore what you're interested in, what you picked up, what questions you might have, what else you might be interested in, so that you can benefit as much as possible from this. So, right, so a little bit about my philosophical background. Who am I as a coach and why does it matter? So in the first place, what I have come to realize in my practice is that, and as you can see here, I'm using a saying, you can take a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. So an organization can send their clients to coaching, but if the clients are not ready, then we can't do anything. So what I've realized is that it's very important in coaching to help the clients to move from point A to point B, to work with their resistance patterns. Like, what is it that they say no to? what seems to keep them from drinking the water that is there. So rather than say like, well, this client is not ready for learning, I'm very curious to explore, so there's something that the client seems to resist to. What might it be? Because resistance is material that we can work with, and rich material that I like working with, rather than saying that the client is not ready for coaching. So this is something that I hold very dear to me, working with resistance patterns in coaching. The second philosophical aspect that I hold dear is it's always both when we learn. It's the coach and the client. And it's our responsibility. We need to assume accountability for what we co-create and recreate with our clients. In many cases, I hear that it's like the clients don't learn. So we cannot just blame the clients for not learning. So it's kind of like, what do we contribute? How do we show up? How are we as coaches that might or might not facilitate how clients can learn? And you will also see how that will, this very aspect of assuming responsibility for what we create and co-create in our coaching relationships is actually a big part of my research project, which you will see later in the line of hypothesis that I will outline to you. So it's a very important aspect for me to realize that it's not about the other, it's about us doing the learning together. Which brings me to the next aspect, is that we are in a relationship with our clients. I'm not sure how many coaches are out there who are listening and being part of this webinar. We know that like you will know if you're a coach that the coaching relationship has been proven in research to be the biggest contributor to coaching effectiveness. So if the quality of the relationship, the coach-client relationship is right, and we call it working alliance. So if the relationship is strong enough, is healthy, that's when the clients can actually allow themselves to do most of the learning. So it's not a certain tool, a certain method. We need tools, we need methods, because it's a skill. So we need all this, but it has been proven, and in research as well, that how we are with our clients, the relationship and the strength of this relationship is what will make the difference. So paying attention reflexively, what I mean by reflexivity is paying very much attention in the moment. It's also part of dancing with the client, paying attention, like, how are we? How are we okay with each other? That will actually help clients learn, which might actually, if we come back to item number 1, help the clients drink the water if the relationship is right. And the last item is to keep in mind for myself also that we are in a partnership. Like in a project with Octarium, we are in a wonderful partnership with each other. And I remember, I'm not sure if anybody knows Arej Alomari, who is managing the project. We had our struggles at the beginning, and we found each other, like we started to see, like, how can we be partners in this? And by complementing each other and learning how we are actually partners in this, we could start being grounded in the project. And we understood that we are so interconnected. And today it's actually fun working with each other. So the same holds true also for when we do coaching. Like, we also learn from our clients, the way I learn from those coaches who participate in my research project. So we'll learn from each other. And that's what helps our clients feel on an eye-to-eye level with each other. And that's a very important aspect for me to highlight here. So that's a little bit about myself. And I'm already done, because this is not about me. This is about us learning something together in a partnership. So let's just check in with you, Wala. Are there any questions from the audience so far to what I have said up to now?
No.
No. Okay,
Yes.
everyone seems to be happy.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
Yes, it's nice to talk with you and listen to you. I'm Hussam. Hussam Ali from Saudi Arabia.
Welcome, Hassan.
Yes. My questions, I feel some problem with some coaching. When they do the coaching with other customers, they have, when you're talking with any customers, sometimes the customer have bad feeling or deeping bad feeling, really. It's very big. And when I do the coaching for this customer, they give me the bad feeling for my ass. For my as a coach, I feel bad things when I do the training or when I do the coach with them. How I go out for this area.
How to leave that. This is wonderful, Hassan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing this up, because actually you have touched on a point here, and for which I have prepared an exercise for today. Okay, so let's hold your question for a bit, okay? And we are going to come back to this, and I promise you will get your answer. Okay?
Okay, understood.
Let's hold this question. Let's hold, because it's a wonderful piece of thing that you brought up here. Let's do the exercise and then see how you will form your own answer to that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Agree.
Lovely.
Agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you. So, anybody else wants to say something here or add something? Nope. Okay, so let's move on. So let's explore. I will show you 3 pictures. Let's explore what the unspoken is. And I will give you 3 pictures to kind of like think a little bit or feel also a little bit into what the unspoken might be when we're speaking about coaching. The first picture is what we call a school of fish. I mean, this is all my scribbling, guys, okay? So this is my drawings, and please accept it that I'm not an artist. So what I was trying to show here is fish or animal life. So it can also be like birds, like, you know, like a swarm of birds or so. So when you see this picture, school of fish, when you see the second one, which is supposed to highlight a baby and a caregiver, which can be a father or a mother, so both a caregiver. And when you see a third one, 2 so-called pendulum clocks on the wall, 2 clocks on the wall. When you see these 3 pictures, what do you think, what do these 3 pictures, and we link these 3 pictures to unspoken in coaching, what do they have in common? I'll give you a bit of time to reflect, maybe 60 seconds or so, and then it would be lovely, voila, if you could read out the responses to me, please, or just have the audience interact with me, please.
Okay.
What do these 3 pictures have in common when we think of the unspoken in coaching? What do you think?
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, hi.
Yeah, hi, how are you? My name is Sayeda, and I have formed in some connection with all the 3 pictures. So, like, do I wait till I give my response, like, so that like others will have time to think as well, or how?
Well, I like dancing with you, and just feel free to say what's coming to your mind. That's fine.
Okay. So can I say that?
Yeah, sure, feel free. Go ahead.
Okay. The school of fish, to me, like, okay, represents being in harmony. Okay, and an adult and a child, like, to me, like, symbolizes like a coach being an adult, and a co-achieving child, and like sort of depending or like waiting for some sort of a guidance to come the way. And the other two clocks with the pendulum are again like going in harmony, like both on the same parallel.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Lovely. So let's just paraphrase. So I heard harmony and I heard a certain level of dependence, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
some
guys.
people said in the chat,
Yeah.
like Jawahir said, the picture have harmony. And someone from Acterium said, they said leadership.
Leadership. Okay.
And for me, I think like they imitating each other.
Okay, there's imitation. Can you say what you mean by imitation, maybe?
Like the baby imitate his father or the one.
Okay.
Yeah. And also the fish, they imitate each other so they can work together in this.
All right. Got it. Okay, anyone else would like to come in? Add something?
Okay, someone say the common thing is trying to help in a harmony.
Okay.
Omar said mirror to each other.
Mirroring.
And work together.
And the togetherness, okay? Together, I hear that.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, hi.
Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can, yes.
The picture has like something in common from my point of view, which is like tangoing together. You can see the school of fish, like they are tangoing together, if we're speaking about dancing together, in a way that they are having this certain shape of while they're swimming. And for the second picture, the child actually is harmonying, are dancing with, tangoing together with the movement of the parents, or like vice versa. The parent is tangoing together with the child while playing.
Yeah.
The pendant for the the clock movement, you can see also they are tangoing together. We don't see them moving in different or opposite side. No, they're tangoing together, and that shows also the relationship between the coach and the coachee. Living the moment and asking the right question in that moment is like tangoing together, and that's a very important step in dancing or in coaching also.
Okay, and when can I just come in here? And when you're asking the right question, what happens? Because
we will have the moment, which is like opening the light at the end of the tunnel. The coachee will see the possibility and the options.
Okay, yes, so something is opening up. There is like the light at the end of the tunnel, so something opens up. Okay, lovely. So when I was looking into the Unspoken, I had maybe I will share my story with you. I had a coach-client relationship myself. I've got a lot of them, so but there was one coach-client relationship with a female client of mine where I had a realization, owing to the clients being with me in that session, that really opened my eye to what you have been trying to outline there, this harmony and a little bit also other aspects which are also related to harmony. And in specific, what happened is that we're sitting in that session, and the client was telling her story, and apparently I was saying, I understand you. So I was using language to impart that, yes, so I was there for her. But what also happened is that at the same time, what I was saying, and I kept repeating saying, I understand, my body actually was moving backward. And at one point, a client, and that's actually, this is why I'm doing this piece of research, honoring this client's courage to speak up and say, and she was saying to me, Tünde, you know what? When you're saying you understand me, somehow like you are drawing back. And I felt like, wow, and I didn't even notice that. So there was something very interesting happening. So there was an unspoken element in me, my body speaking a language that was different to what my words were speaking. And the client seemed to respond to that language, this unspoken language, more than to my words. And then I started being very curious about like, oh my God, what is this? What do we know about this in coaching? What is this? And I found that we know a lot about it in biology. The school of fish, actually, they are together because when they are together, they are protected. They have a sense of belonging. If one of these fish tweaks away, the likelihood that it will be eaten up by, I don't know, like a bigger fish or a shark or whatever, is very high. But as long as they stay together, and you call it harmony, and they are swinging kind of like they're moving in the same direction, they feel together. Somebody said togetherness. And they're also moving like spontaneously with each other. They're not speaking a language, at least not the language that we understand. They might be speaking probably their own fish language. But they seem to be just moving with each other very nicely. And then I also found out that there is research in child rearing, between a baby and a caregiver. And again, I would like to say like it's true for both, for father and mother. It's about key caregivers. And the baby doesn't speak a language. It can just utter maybe some babish, but it cannot speak. So what happens between a baby and a caregiver is unspoken. And it was found in child rearing research that if the caregiver fails to respond to the child's needs within 0.6 seconds over time, like if it happens once, it doesn't matter. But if it happens over time, what happens is that the baby will start feeling distressed. And when the baby feels distressed, the mother will feel distressed. So there is this ripple effect, like they are influencing each other, no spoken language. And it has been proven in research that this is happening really between the baby and the caregiver, this spontaneous responsiveness, this sensitivity to the child's need. Because sometimes the mother doesn't know, like, oh God, what does my baby need? Does it need food or change of nappies, or what is the baby might need? We don't know. So it's very difficult because the baby cannot tell. So being attuned and being able to respond or sense, right? That seems to be the key element that creates safety and a safe environment also for the baby. And the third one is the pendulum clocks on the wall. It was very interesting because this is part of engineering. And when I looked into the Unspoken, and after I had this coach client experience with my female client, what I found is that in the 17th, as early as in the 17th century, Christian Huygens from the Netherlands, so it was a Dutch scientist, he put up 2 clocks on the wall. And within 30 seconds, the pendulum clock started swinging in unison. So the one clock adopted the energy of the other clock. So some force that was adopted by the other clock, and they started swinging with each other. Later, this experiment was repeated with metronomes. These things that you use for instruments, when playing instruments. And people were putting 10 metronomes next to each other, and then they were setting each metronome in randomly, And again, after 30 seconds, and you can find these videos on YouTube very easily, the metronomes and how they start swinging in unison. After 30 seconds, they started all swinging like in unison. We call it in unison, like in the same direction with the same moves. So there seems to be something that, and they don't speak a language, so they don't exchange words, they don't speak to each other. There seems to be something that we adopt. And then I thought, oh, that's funny. So I want to know more. And that's how I actually came to looking more into our felt sense, what I like calling the felt sense. Because to be able to respond spontaneously, to be attuned, to like a parent to feel attuned to the child, we need to also understand what's going on for us. We need to feel ourselves. And therefore, to do a little bit of a felt sense exercise, I wanted to invite you for 5 to 10 minutes. Let's see, like we do have, that's wonderful. So to do an intervention with me, to start really getting a sense for what this unspoken might be by doing this, by undergoing this experience. So before I give you the instructions, please put aside your mobile phones. Close the doors and windows and everything. Just be there. Take a bit of time for yourselves for this exercise to benefit most. So this is what I would like to invite you to doing. So basically the exercise is called How Are You Today? And we will do the following. Take on a typical mood of yours. So we are talking about a mood. It can be excitement, it can be curiosity, it can be anger, it can be fury, it can be anything, a fear or a bigger form of that, anxiety, anything that you typically experience about yourself a lot. Keep it to yourself. And or just notice like how you are, in what mood you are just now. Just notice. Try to make sense of and feel into yourself. Try to use your physicality, your visceral responses, the bodily responses. Like, what is the mood that I'm having? And where is it lodged? Where is it? What is this? Try to notice it, pick it up.
Be with.
And when you're there, wait for a couple of seconds in silence and sense it. Just try to sense it. And when you're there, allow now your body to take on that mood. Allow it. Give yourself permission to fully embrace this mood and allow your body to give it some expression in whatever way that might be. The fist clenching up, or you are moving in the chair, or when you are upright, then you move position. In whichever way, try to be just paying attention to how your body is responding. What physical responses do you notice? Sense into yourself. Okay. And now feel free to share if you want to share. You don't have to share. Just feel free to share if you feel like sharing. What do you notice? Let's take some 5 minutes to explore. Okay, voila. Is anybody there who would like to share what they notice about their felt sense?
Hi again, Tünde.
Hi.
Sayeda with you. So, like, the feeling or the sense I had was of a certain fear, right? And I tried to keep myself there. I tried to imagine what the situation would be like. Then I felt that the main reason I'm in that situation is because I'm expected to do that. Per se, I would like to flee away from that situation, but something like is there that's forcing me. Something, by the word something, maybe it's my responsibility that's forcing me to do that, or my perceived impression that I should do that. Maybe it's more about what I perceive or what I think people expect from me, and I need to fulfill those expectations. But deep down, I just want to flee away from that situation, and I know it's going to come very soon. Something that I'm like, okay, I know things are going to happen that when something is going to be the way, but I want to flee away. But I know my situation, my current situation, and my responsibility will not allow me to do so.
And can you locate which part, like where you felt that, where you had that sense? Where did you feel anything? Or how did you make sense of this?
My mind and my unwillingness to be in that particular place, my sense of feeling that no, I don't want to be there, I need to walk out. Maybe it was in my mind.
My mind. So
Yeah.
the head?
Yeah.
Or I don't know where your mind is located for you. It can be also elsewhere. Okay, super, lovely. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Super. I would like to come back to what Hassan has said earlier today. Like he was actually the first one to come in. Is there anything that you would like to say now, Hassan? Would you like to come back to me to continue our dialogue?
Hussam? Hussam
Yes.
said yes.
Yes. Yes. Repeat. Do you want to repeat my question?
Feel free to repeat your question, and also to tell us like what you noticed if you were doing this exercise or participating, to share something about what you noticed.
That's made when we start, or
yes, feel free, just go ahead.
I'm new. I'm by the way, I'm new in coaching. Okay, I'm not start yet.
And thank you. And by the way, thank you for your courage. You know what? Thank you for your courage, actually, and showing up and taking the risk.
Really?
To intervene so bravely. Yeah, thank you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm new. Thank you very much.
Because actually, it is precisely this, you know, guys. Like, maybe it's a good moment that you share. Thank you for your vulnerability, showing your vulnerability, because it's a good moment for me to share another story with a client of mine. So it's a different client, and maybe you have seen earlier today when we were still having some light here. So I live in the forest here, and I've got some neighbors, and the neighbors are having animals, and among other things they also have cocks and pigs and everything. And I'm having my office at one end of in one end of the house where you can hear the animals sometimes. And we were sitting in a session with a client, and we have reached a stage where the client was reflecting her action taking. So we have done the insight, and she has reached some awareness, and we were sitting there in silence together, and the client was reflecting and trying to see like what actions she wanted to take next, to try to experiment with by the time we would see each other again. So we are sitting there nicely, and suddenly one of the cocks was doing kikiriki, and another kikiriki, and it was at a time of the day, it was around lunchtime, like 12 o'clock. And you must imagine, like, we're sitting there, and I thought, like, how funny is that? How crazy is that? And I was sharing that with the client, and I said, look, I don't know what's going on for you, but isn't it crazy that this cock is doing kikiriki in the moment? And I started just laughing. Although the first thing that came to my mind was, Tünde, don't disturb the client. The client is in reflection mode. Allow the client to reflect. But something in me was saying like, oh, wait a second, this is crazy. So my felt sense in the body was like humor. So I used this humor, and she was also breaking out in laughter and said, Tünde, thank you for laughing now. And I said, what's that? Because I was thinking the same thing, but I thought that I should not laugh now because we are in this reflection mode. And then she said, but you know what? It's great that you actually broke the silence and you said crazy, because maybe I should be doing something crazy like the cock myself. And this example was such a beautiful, dancing in the moment, if I may say, with the client, because paying attention to what was going on for me and separating this, what was going on genuinely, and sharing that in the moment with the client, in the client's service, not in my service, because it's not about me. And the client picking it up and allowing herself, having the courage, the way Hassan was having the courage to say, well, I have a question here. So, and to separate, like, what are our fears? What's going on? What's the noise in my mind? What is the shoulds? Like, I think it was Syed who said, like, there is a noise in my head. There is these shoulds that these are occupying me. So, to not allow this noise to take over too much, and to allow ourselves to really be there, because this is potentially helping the clients to also realize something about themselves. Because if I hadn't loved, she wouldn't have loved. She would have stayed there silently, good girl, the good girl, and doing the reflection, but inside she would have felt, oh, shit, this cock is crazy. Just the way I was feeling like the cock is crazy. So spontaneously responding, like, remember back to the picture, to the baby and the caregiver, responding spontaneously to what is needed, to having this sensitivity. But for that, you need to allow yourself to feel into yourself. What's going on here? Like, what is this? It's funny. And sometimes that will take using sense of humor. This is just one example, yeah. So, but it came to my mind while I was hearing this story about the shoot, and also the courage that Hassan was bringing into the session. So actually, what this exercise is about is just imagine. We always bring a mood into our sessions. And the clients do the same. When I was telling you the first story with my client, through whom I realized how important the unspoken is in coaching, I brought the noise in my head into the session, and this noise was lodged in my body. It was speaking a language. It was lodged in myself, and it was keeping me busy. And I couldn't be there for my client and really spontaneously responding to her needs. I was speaking, yes, I understand you, but she was not stupid. She wouldn't buy it. She wouldn't buy it. Clients are never stupid. And they are very sensitive to how we are and how that is congruent with what we speak. And in that moment, when I was reflecting with the client, like what was going on, I realized, I was having pressure in myself but I hadn't paid attention to that. I did not allow myself to pay attention to the pressure. I was so preoccupied because the boss had told me, Tünde, I want this lady to be a success in the company because she had been promoted to a senior leadership team, a male leadership team, and she would be the only woman on the board. And it was this noise in my head, I should be very good as a coach because otherwise, I don't know, I won't get a coaching contract anymore. So this kept me so preoccupied, and I hadn't paid attention to that the body was speaking and it was drawing back. It was signaling to my client that I am preoccupied with myself rather than dancing with her in the moment and really listening to what she needed, paying attention to her needs. So I was bringing into the session my mood, pressure. And that was playing out in how I was showing up. And that had nothing to do with what I was speaking. Actually, it was contrary to what I was speaking. So what happened, just imagine, like I bring something, a mood into the session, and the client brings a mood into the session. And that's what Hassan is probably speaking about, is like, that's influencing us. So when the client is making us feel bad, no, they are not. It's kind of like you are picking that up. So it's normal. And it would be very nice to address it in the session, to feel like, oh, it's interesting that I'm sensing this. Something is in the room. So without blaming the client, of course. So it's kind of just saying, like, it's interesting, I'm picking up something. Like, think of the clocks that go in unison. We adopt energies from each other, and it's normal. So the importance of paying attention how we are picking up energies from each other and just noticing it. So it's not about judging these feelings, it's just noticing, because the minute you notice it, it might dissipate, it might go away, or address it with a client. It's like, what could that be between us? What is this? And that's the relationship element that I was addressing when I was speaking about my philosophical perspectives. And also show the client that you're in a partnership with them. It's kind of like, I'm learning from you that there's something going on. Let's explore together. Helps the client to feel also very important and taken seriously. So this is basically what this exercise was meant to showcase. Well, voila, would you please help me see, like, if anybody has a question at this point?
Okay. Some people just comment about the exercise and what you said. Like Umar Al-Ammari said, like breaking the pattern.
Breaking a pattern. Okay.
Yeah. And Raed Al-Jihani said, help the customer to feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Abir said, if the coach asks the right questions, he or she will keep the right flow of the conversation with the coachee. Mm-hmm. And finally, Zuhur said, remind yourself to focus on the right moment.
On the right moment, yes, to keep the focus, right? Keep the focus on what's relevant in the moment. Okay, so very nice. Thank you guys for interacting. This is lovely. So let's recoup. So what is this dance in the moment? So you will hear a lot presence in coaching. And if we recoup a little bit like what dancing in the moment might encompass, it's about, somebody was saying focus, like respond, ask the right question. But to be able to ask the right questions, you need to well, you need to be there, right, to be able to ask the right question. It doesn't just come up like that. It's when you are in attune with yourself, and you can feel like, oh, interesting, isn't it? So and you ask the right question, and it feels right when we're attuned with each other. Then we can be very present for the client, and we can spontaneously respond to their needs, and that can create a sense of belonging, and can create a safe environment, help the clients feel safe. And also, as I said, I was trying to share my story, when we confidently share what's going on, because it seems to be relevant, exploring what's happening in the coach-client relationship. And it's also to do with what we call synchrony. Somebody said today, mirroring. Mirroring sounds to me a little bit like, but it just sounds to me a bit like imitating. That's why, well, I think it was you who was mentioning it, a bit like as if consciously imitating. That's why I was asking back with you. When we speak about synchrony and dancing in the moment with the clients, what we want to refer to is spontaneous responsiveness, like, and responding very timely, like reflexively. You heard the word, like reflexivity is a big thing in my coaching practice. In the moment, responding. And it's a visceral response, so it's something that I'm attuned with my body. I know that my body holds a wisdom and intelligence. It's the best instrument that I have to measure how I am doing. It's picking up all my moods, and it's showing me. And you will remember, as I said, my body was actually drawing back. And while I was speaking to the client, I understand my body was actually speaking a different language. So to pay attention to what is the language that my body is speaking, and see how am I paying attention to what the client's needs are or not, right? And work with this. And that's to do like all together with being attuned, and like the clock swinging in unison. ICF is calling it actually dancing in the moment. It's ICF who is using this phrase, and it's about adopting energy levels that might come from the room, it might come from outside, it might come from ourselves, from the way we work with the client. Now, these are the elements that dancing in the moment encompasses for me, and how I have been curious to research it. And I would like to come to this part of the research where I would like to show you how we measure this. And before I do so, I will show you just a line of hypothesis. And here you will see in the upper prediction 1, prediction 2 doesn't belong to here. It's another part of the research. But the first part of the research looks into like how our spontaneous responses, how when we are responding sensitively to the client's needs, how will that potentially impact clients feeling safe and regulating nicely, and coming back to harmony, harmonizing themselves. A lot of you were using the word harmony today. And how does the working alliance, the relationship between the coach and client, support this? What is the relevance of the coach-client relationship and the quality of that relationship to how clients can feel safe when we are in harmony with each other, by just being with each other and paying attention to how we are, without a specific method, without a specific tool that we use. Because, as I said earlier today, research shows that it's not a tool that will make a difference for a client, but it's the how we are, not what we do, but how we are with each other. So sometimes I like calling it being more and doing less in coaching. Be just there, pay attention to what might support harmony for the clients to be able to self-regulate, and because they are wise, clients will know what to do, and to how we are creating the safe space for them so that they feel that they can feel safe to achieve their goals. So basically, what we do, I will leave this away to dance with you and show you because we are running short of time. So what we do is we use motion energy analysis. So we use technology to measure this. And just like the coaches at Octarium, you are creating videos, right? So what happens with these videos? So I'm not personally evaluating the videos. what I will do is I will prepare the videos, I will cut them, I will remove the first bits and the last bits where you are standing up or sitting down. And I will mark each body part, as you can see there in the left upper corner. So each body part will be marked with a different color. And the software, which is called Motion Energy Analysis, and is a tested tool developed by at Bern University in Switzerland, what will happen is that the software will start measuring your movements against each other. And I will show you what it will look like if I start this. So what will happen is that the video will be turned into grayscale images. Like the only thing I will see is black background and white lines, as you can see here. And the software will measure pixels and the changes of the frames, frame-to-frame changes in the video. And then it will be creating codes and matching the movements with each other. It will discard random movements and will just, over time, because I asked you to do 10 hours of coaching conversations so that we can look into the development from one session to the other. Because as you will remember, I said about the baby and the caregiver that it's about the repeated responsiveness. So if I miss your needs one time, that doesn't matter. But if I keep missing your needs over and over again, that's where we start feeling distressed. And this is what we would like to look into, like how over time the relationship evolves. And I will pay it again for you guys just to make sense, like where the software is measuring the genuine responses to each other, rather than just a simple random movements, like when you pick up a cup and you would like to drink something, although picking up a cup might also involve significance for the coach-client relationship. But this is basically how we are measuring it. And yes, so this is what I wanted to talk about today. And let me just...
someone asked a question.
Yes, super.
Yeah, it's Abir Al-Jawi. She said, you mean the coaching should clear themselves from any bad mood and keep a good mood because he or she will reflect it to the client?
Yeah. Okay, lovely. Exactly. So that's all lovely. Thank you so much for bringing this up, because, and that's that's a very good point, because yes, so our task as coaches is to pay attention. What is the mood that I'm potentially bringing into the coaching room each and every time? And clear, yes, so she was saying clearing ourselves, and probably not even bring in a good mood. Just be neutral. Try to not, because if you bring in too much of a good mood, that might also potentially impact the client. So to just be there and make sure that it's the client who brings the energies, and you work with that. And then if there is something that you would like to share, then do so. But very good point, like how to pay attention to be clear and to be clean. Yes, to be fully there for the clients. Yeah, so there are 3 elements that we are, just to recoup before I finish for today. So 3 elements that we are measuring. So this is the level of spontaneity. So really spontaneous responsiveness to clients' needs in the moment. That's actually called dancing in the moment, and ICF also defines it like that. The level of sensitivity that we develop over time and have by also feeling, by using ourself, this feeling, like how am I feeling, what am I doing, what is the noise in my head, what should I keep away, what is destructive, so that our responses can be synchronous with the client. And then the reflexivity rather than the reflectivity, to respond in the moment, timely, in the right moment. You remember this 0.6 seconds of responsiveness that we need over time to feel that we are understood. So to be reflexive and not to just reflect after the session and, okay, this is what I learned. No, to be, and this is a skill. This is something that everybody can learn. So there's good news. So being present and being synchronous and dancing in the moment with clients is something that's a habit, something that we can all learn. And I would like to encourage you to practice it more and more. And today I just paid attention to one very particular element of dancing in the moment in this hour. And actually I'm done. And if anybody's interested in what I'm doing or the Coaching Presence a research project, there's a lot out there. I'm trying to explain it in greater length. Yes, so actually I'm done, and I'm very happy to receive questions if you are ready.
I have a question, Mala.
Okay.
What if the coachee bring a bad feeling, or how can I reflect it to be a good one?
To turn it into a good one?
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
To keep the harmony, I don't know.
It's interesting. So what is it that the client would like to do? So just imagine that the client brings the bad mood.
Yeah.
What do you think what the client's... Number one, if the client brings some bad mood, that's good for you because the client trusts you that they can bring a bad mood to your session.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's actually, like, you can count yourself fortunate that the client doesn't keep it back. And why not tell the client that you are happy that the client trusts you that and brings their bad mood, or why give it a judgment, by the way? So why say bad? Maybe this is something very important for the client. So rather than judging it to be bad, you could potentially, like, just notice, interesting that you are saying this or you are doing that, and then help the client. So there seems to be something important for you. And by the way, thank you for bringing this up and for trusting me to share it with me. And then allow the client to explain themselves which relevance this mood has for them. And then you don't have to feel bad about that. No?
Yeah, okay. Right said, what is the best practice for the coach to be professional? I think professional in like the topic you said, like
What is
keep the harmony.
What do you think? Can I give back the question? So after what you have heard today, or also based on your own practice, let me give back the question. So what do you think would be the best practice, how to be professional and keep all these moods out? I'm trying to be now like the way, when clients come to the sessions and say, what would be the best way to solve this problem? And I say, like, what do you think? What do you think? I mean, you know that. We all have the wisdom. We all know. And a coach will not advise, So I'm trying to just do that with you guys as well. So to help you reflect, listen to yourself. You know what is the best practice. Or maybe that wasn't the real question. I don't know. What is the real question?
Can I say something?
Sure, please.
Okay. What I believe and what I understood from you, thank you for your lecture, that it's all about your client, not about you. Your client needs you to be with him in the moment, with his feelings and with everything he said. Is it right?
It sounds beautiful to me. I don't know if it's right. It sounds beautiful. I can only tell you, like, it feels to me also like it's always about the client. It's not about us. And it's about, like, understanding that and keeping, like, for example, when we are bringing in some mood and we are, because today we were talking about mood, to notice that, oh, I'm bringing this mood. Why would I? This is not about me. This is about the client. So noticing, just this moment of allowing yourself to notice and becoming aware of this noticing will help you switch the mode and switch the mood. And then you can keep the focus on the client, which is also my practice, but I'm not sure if it's right. I didn't say so, but thank you so much for bringing this up, because it resonates deeply with me. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we have 5 minutes. We can take 4 questions before ending.
Sure, we'll be happy to. Is there maybe anything else? Maybe or I'm just waiting. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of takeaways, a couple of questions that you can reflect for yourself in your own practice, how you can use yourself to be dancing with your clients. And I will be happy if Voila shares the slides with you, or also just hot off the press, fitting the theme that I was addressing today is I got my article published in the Coaching at Work magazine, and I shared this article with Voila. So if anybody would like to read up more on the essence of mood and how that shapes the way we are in coaching, feel free to reach out to Voila, and Voila will share that article with you to support your understanding of today's theme.
Okay, I will share it now in the chat section.
All right.
Okay.
The slide and the article.
Super.
Okay. Voila, thankfully, will share the link to the article. And also, she will put the number of Octarian, our contact number, and our website, and our email. And we will put the link for tomorrow lecture that will be provided by Zainab Orabi. She's an ACC certified coach. She will talk about questioning and powerful questioning. Is there anything else, Tünde, you want to tell us about?
Well, no, I just invite you to dance with your clients as much as you can, and experience it, and be partners with your clients in learning from each other. And if there's anything else that you would like to know, so feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, thank you so much for your attention, actually, and for this possibility to speak to you. I hope it was helpful and valuable to you.
Thank you, Tünde, for your time, and you are amazing. Your lecture was wonderful. For myself, I've learned a lot from it, and hope everyone have reached something good and important in his coaching practice, and hope that we can meet again and in more webinars. And anyone need anything to reach Tünde, he can contact Octarium, and we will be glad to help you on that.
Thank you very much. And yeah, hi. somebody else having a that's lovely. Yeah, so thank you for your time, and happy learning, happy development, and a happy continuation of this International Coaching Week. Thank you so much for the initiation of this series of webinars, Abdullah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
See you, inshallah, tomorrow, inshallah. The lecture for tomorrow will be in Arabic, inshallah.
Okay.
And for after tomorrow, it will be in English. Everything will be, inshallah, in our social media and website. Thank you, and have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.